Imagine a country where medieval castles rise beside modern cities, ancient forests still feel untouched, and centuries of history are visible in almost every street. A country that has been divided, rebuilt, transformed, and yet somehow kept its identity. This is Poland. But what makes Poland so different from the rest of Europe? Today, through cinematic AI fictional generated visualizations and historical reconstructions, we are taking a journey across Poland to discover its history, culture, cities, traditions, surprising facts, and the realities of modern life. And the deeper we go, the more surprising Poland becomes. First impressions. Imagine arriving in Poland on a cool morning. Outside the airport, modern roads lead toward a European city. Glass buildings rise in the distance, while older neighborhoods reveal colorful buildings, churches, markets, and quiet streets. Warsaw feels modern and energetic. But travel farther, and Poland begins to change. In Krakow, medieval architecture creates an entirely different atmosphere. In Gdansk, historic buildings stand close to the Baltic Sea. In the south, the Tatra Mountains rise dramatically above the landscape. And then there are vast forests, peaceful lakes, historic castles, and small towns that seem to belong to another century. Poland does not have just one identity. It feels like several different chapters of European history living side by side. But to understand why Poland feels so different today, we need to travel much further back in time. The history. Poland's story goes back more than 1,000 years. In the 10th century, the Polish state began taking shape under the Piast dynasty. Christianity became an important part of the country's history, and Poland gradually developed its own political and cultural identity. For centuries, Poland grew into an important European kingdom. Castles, churches, universities, and trading cities developed across the country. Krakow became a major center of culture and learning. But Poland's history was not peaceful. In the late 18th century, Poland was divided between neighboring powers and disappeared from the map as an independent state for more than a century. Then, in 1918, Poland regained independence. The 20th century brought another devastating period. During World War II, Poland experienced enormous destruction and loss. Warsaw was heavily damaged. Yet after the war, the country began rebuilding. Old buildings were reconstructed. Cities were restored. New neighborhoods appeared. Poland's modern identity was shaped not only by what survived, but also by what its people chose to rebuild. And one Polish city tells this story better than almost anywhere else. Poland's famous cities. First comes Warsaw. Poland's capital is a remarkable mixture of old and new. Modern towers create a contemporary skyline, while the historic center contains carefully reconstructed architecture. It is a city that represents Poland's ability to rebuild after enormous destruction. Then comes Krakow. Its historic center is filled with medieval streets, churches, old markets, and grand architecture. At the heart of the city is the famous main market square, surrounded by centuries of history. Further north is Gdansk. Its colorful historic streets connect Poland with the Baltic Sea and centuries of European trade. Then there is Wrocław. The city is famous for its bridges, islands, colorful architecture, and hundreds of small dwarf statues hidden throughout its streets. And in the south lies Zakopane, surrounded by the dramatic Tatra Mountains. Here, wooden architecture, mountain traditions, hiking trails, and winter landscapes create a completely different side of Poland. But Poland's greatest treasures are not always found inside its cities. People and culture. Polish culture is deeply connected to family, history, food, music, and tradition. Food is an important part of everyday life. Pierogi are among Poland's best-known dishes, with fillings ranging from potatoes and cheese to meat, mushrooms, or fruit. Then there is żurek, a traditional sour rice soup, and bigos, a hearty dish made with cabbage and meat. During Christmas, family meals become especially important. Traditional celebrations often bring relatives together around a table filled with familiar dishes. Polish language also plays an important role in national identity. The language may sound difficult to outsiders, but it carries centuries of history and cultural traditions. And across Poland, folk clothing, music, dances, wooden houses, and regional customs show that Polish culture is not exactly the same everywhere. It changes from region to region. Now, let's uncover some facts that make Poland even more fascinating. Amazing facts. Poland is home to Białowieża Forest, one of Europe's most famous ancient forest landscapes and an important refuge for European bison. Poland also has an extraordinary underground attraction, the Wieliczka salt mine, where underground chambers and salt-carved artworks create an almost unreal environment. Poland has a long Baltic coastline, despite being better known internationally for its historic cities and mountains. The Tatra Mountains contain some of the country's most dramatic natural scenery. Poland is also famous for its many castles and historic palaces. Its cities combine Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, 19th century, Socialist era, and modern architecture. And perhaps most surprisingly, Poland has repeatedly rebuilt and reinvented itself throughout its history. But every beautiful destination has another side, and Poland is no exception. The reality of modern Poland. Modern Poland offers many opportunities, but life here is not perfect. Large cities can be expensive, especially when it comes to housing. Winter can bring long, cold, and cloudy periods. What do you think about Poland? Would you like to explore its castles, cities, mountains, forests, or historic streets someday? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this cinematic journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us for more AI-generated documentary adventures around the world.